In late October, just days before the presidential election, and almost a year after federal authorities had seized a handgun from his private plane, the rapper Lil Wayne spent nearly an hour with Donald J. Trump at the President's Doral Golf Club in Miami. The two men discussed Lil Wayne's upbringing in New Orleans and his budding interest in criminal justice reform, according to Bradford Cohen, a South Florida lawyer who was present and set up the meeting. "I think they had a very strong connection," Mr. Cohen, who competed on Mr. Trump's TV show, The Apprentice, in 2004, said. The encounter culminated in a smiley, thumbs-up photo op that the rapper then posted on Twitter, an endorsement that came as Mr. Trump's re-election campaign was working to improve his standing with black voters, though he had often vilified black people and frequently sought to divide the country along racial lines. The support from a largely apolitical artist was met with backlash from some fans. Less than a month later, Lil Wayne was charged with felony gun possession, and he soon pleaded guilty. At a sentencing originally scheduled for later this month, he faced up to 10 years in prison. That sentencing will never come. Early Wednesday, Lil Wayne found himself among the 143 pardons and commutations announced by former President Trump during his final hours in office. He joined three other figures from the hip-hop universe, including the Florida rapper Kodak Black, another client of Mr. Cohen's, Desiree Perez, the chief executive of Jay-Z's Roc Nation, and Michael Harris, known as Harry O., a founder of Death Row Records who has been in prison for 30 years. The clemency decisions capped a complex, symbiotic and often controversial relationship between Mr. Trump and rap that dates back to the 1990s, when the businessman was a frequent clubgoer and lyrical motif representing wealth and flash. "He's in the entertainment world," Mr. Cohen said of the former president in an interview on Wednesday. "He's got a style that's similar in terms of the way that he carries himself, and a lot of rappers and people in the industry relate to that." Mr. Cohen said that Lil Wayne's looming gun charge, which had been under investigation for nearly a year, was not the reason for his pre-election summit or support for Mr. Trump. But he acknowledged that it may have ultimately been a factor in the pardon decision, as thousands lobbied for last-minute clemency. "It never hurts that someone gets a full understanding of an individual when they're just looking at a piece of paper," he said. "In hindsight, I guess it worked out." Lil Wayne, 38 and born Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., is widely considered one of the most successful and influential hip-hop artists of his generation. But aside from a song criticizing George W. Bush for his handling of Hurricane Katrina, he had typically avoided politics altogether, distancing himself from partisanship and the Black Lives Matter movement.